Let's take these 3 animated movie posters and make them terrifying, starting with Big Hero 6. And the first step is importing the German version of the poster. But we gotta remove all the text and extend the poster, and while we're at it, we should also get rid of the tape all over Baymax. The kid needs to go as well, but don't worry, we're gonna bring him back later. And the idea for this poster is to have Baymax holding Hero's head. So to do this, we need a new arm that I'll cut out and mask behind his body. But the fingers should be in a different perspective, so I got them from this photo and matched them to the rest of the arm using tint and saturation, but also by painting some shadows over it. And while we're working on Baymax, I want to steal some mean looking robot eyes and place them here. But if we really want to make him look evil, we should probably erase his current mouse and replace it with a creepy smile. And of course, the smile needs a little bit of a 3D effect. We still have to take care of the scariest part, for which we're gonna need Hero's head, but this red outline looks really bad. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to fix by taking the saturation out and applying it to the outlines.
Nice job, team.
Now we can place it inside Baymax's hand and paint some strands of hair slipping through his fingers. The time has come to really ruin this movie, which sucks, because that's one of my favorites. But we have to erase Hero's eyes in order to draw some very small pupils and some extra blood vessels. Then I'm liquefying his mouth to completely change his expression. And things really take a dark turn when we add suspicious red liquid onto his neck. But we can't stop here, so why not add a little nosebleed and some under his eyes too. But where did the body go? Well, let's cut one out, straighten the arm out, and liquefy the hood of his jacket. Now we can paint a new neck with, you guessed it, some more tomato sauce. Of course, it probably drooped down on the floor, and it's safe to assume that there would be some on Baymax as well. Oh, and obviously I did add a shadow on the body. The only thing left to do is adding a title, and this is the horror version of Big Hero 6. Next up is luck. And for this one, since there is already rain, why wouldn't there be lightning? First thing first, let's remove the extra text and extend the poster. Now we can add the nice lightning hitting the umbrella directly, but also this sort of electricity ripples all over the top. And to show the electricity traveling, we're gonna puppet warp it and mask it all around the handle. But if she got hit by lightning, she's gonna need a much more dynamic pose. I'm gonna puppet warp her legs and bust, and then separate her arm in 2 parts so that I'm able to extend it out. But I do need to draw some extra fingers so that the hand can look like it's in the right position. And then obviously I have to remove the original character in the background. But the old arm is still here, so I'm stamping the background over it and then rebuilding the pants by duplicating the other side and putting it on top. Usually, when an animated character gets electrocuted, it's represented with their bones showing through their skin. And to do this, I have to make her darker and get a 3D skeleton. Then I'm gonna take the skull, warp it and liquefy it to match her face. Now the only thing I have to do is repeat this process for every single bone in her body. Since it's hard to warp her hand in place, I'm just gonna draw the missing fingers. And now let the magic happen with the blending mode. But wait a minute, shouldn't we be able to see lightning going throughout her body too? Let's apply some overlays, do some masking, and now is a good time to tell you to subscribe, or else you'll be hit by lightning. We have to do the same thing to the cat, so first I'm gonna erase it and cut out the umbrella so that I can position it more dynamically. Then we can cut out other parts, like the bust and the front legs, to warp them in place. And I'm gonna need another poster to get the back legs from. And also the tail that I have to puppet warp nicely. I just had to make the weirdest Google search of my life, but I didn't even really find anything usable, so let's draw all of it from scratch. By the way, please tell me in the comments if you enjoyed these time lapses or if I should just cut them out. Now the electricity has to transfer from the girl to the cat with this lightning. And of course there has to be some electricity all over him as well. We also need to add a shadow, but the rain is going through the umbrella, which makes absolutely no sense. So let's erase it and draw new raindrops going around. And we have to replace the reflections by flipping the cat vertically, blurring it out and masking it in the puddle. Now I'm writing bad, keeping only the outlines and liquefying lightnings all around it. So this is luck, but horror. Our final poster is Planet 51. For this one, let's say that this alien family isn't as friendly as in the movie. First, we need the original poster, but we don't need the text though. Then I'm gonna select Charles using select subject, which also selected the aliens. So let's clean up that selection manually. Now I'm importing another poster and cutting out Eccles from the alien family before putting him on Charles' helmet. Because of what I'm planning to do, we need to puppet warp the astronaut a little bit. But since the original one is still in the background, we have to erase it. I'm acting as if it was an easy step, but it literally took forever. But anyways, let's puppet warp the kid too, so that the composition looks a little bit more dynamic. Now we can finally draw the laser. I'm gonna mask it out on both sides of his face so that it looks like it's going through his skull. And obviously the laser needs a highlight in the center, as well as a bit of glow. But we should draw in and out points and some drippings before adding blood splatters. I'm just gonna warp the splatters to look like the laser is pushing them out. Real quick though, we made merch. So if you want to get your Nice Job Team t-shirt or your mug, you can click the link in the description. And with the code DESIGN15, you can get 15% off the entire website. Thank you so much for your support.
Nice job, team.
Now we can erase the irises and draw new ones in, but also steal a mouse from another frame of the movie. And this way his expression is completely changed. But lasers are light, I think. So it should cast some highlights on Charles. And speaking about light, we have to add a reflection of the kid onto the helmet. I think that dog could be doing something a little more interesting, so let's get rid of it. Now I can isolate him and then cut it out using select subject. We gotta mask it out and warp it so that it is biting the astronaut. And of course, I know you guys can't get enough of it, so we're painting some extra blood on there. And I don't really want this dog floating around, so let's draw a shadow under it. But even after all of this, it doesn't look very dramatic. So I had the brilliant idea to make it night. Oh, and I added a title too. So here it is. If you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you're gonna love to see me turn Ice Age into horror in that one.